Guys, this is Robert from Longstreet Comics and Crypto. I figured I'd try my hand at a haul video. I just got back from Gem City Comic Con in Dayton, Ohio. I've got 3 short boxes of stuff that I bought, so I'll probably split it up into 3 little videos. I can tell, I'm not real sure what's in each box. I can tell this one might be kind of quick. Looks like we've got a bunch of magazines out of the equivalent of the magazine dollar box, so there are some real finds in there. We also got some slabs and some other good stuff. So anyway, having never done one of these, I guess I'll just start off. We got a Fantastic Four 67. I think there's a lot of potential for this book. It's also signed by Stan Lee. Ado's a pretty nice copy. Anyway, I think the Marvel U has got to bring in Warlock somehow. But that's just my personal opinion. Next, we've got an Iron Fist 14 in 8.5. And keep in mind, there are 2 things. I buy books because I get a really good deal on them, is often the reason I might buy something. Or because I think it has potential. And occasionally I'll buy something for myself. And also, if you see prices on stuff, you should probably ignore those, because very seldom do I pay a sticker price. You guys know that you can negotiate quite a bit in the comics market, at least with a lot of guys. I don't deal with guys that have super high prices and don't negotiate. So anyway, we got an Iron Fist 14 in 8.5, first appearance of Sabretooth. I actually don't think I've ever owned one of these before. Pretty cool book. You know, people have mixed feelings on the Iron Fist Netflix series, but Sabretooth's a solid quote-unquote villain. So we've got that. And we've got a, I hope these covers don't mess up the views of the books. These are some of those fancy slab covers. A Batman 227, a classic Neil Adams cover. They just did that homage here recently. 7.5 is a pretty solid grade in this. And this is a cover swipe to Detective 31. But anyway, everybody's seen this book. It's pretty cool in my opinion. Oh. And we've got an Incredible Hulk number 4. 5.5. Basically the origin of the Hulk. We see him going a little crazy after the Machine down here. I also think there's a story where he fights some alien gladiator. But early Hulk books, in my opinion, are always cool, and it's got an actual Stan Lee story. 5.5 is a very solid grade for an early Hulk like that from 62. Oh, come on. Another Batman 234, first Silver Age Two-Face in 8.0. Everybody's seen this book too, so there's nothing really crazy. Another Neil Adams cover. And then we've got an old label, Batman 179. If you can see down here, second Silver Age appearance of the Riddler. Pretty cool cover. I don't know if this book's got what kind of potential this book has, being an old label, 8.5. Cow pages, creamed off white. I just like saying cow. Here's a stack of dollar books that we definitely don't need to talk about. Just pulled those from a friend's boxes just to get stuff from him. Spend a little money with him. This stuff's from a store on the way that I stopped at. This book doesn't have a lot of heat on it anymore. Detective 1 from the New 52. But for the price, I had to grab it. We've got a Hughes variant, Doctor Strange 11. Not the most popular Hughes book, but we've still got some. You can tell it's Hughes. Again, for the price, I figured out to grab it. Now, here are my favorites. Not one, but two San Diego Comic-Con. First appearance of Hellboy. From 93. I couldn't help myself. When I saw one, I thought, all right. Then I saw the second one. I said, yep, I got to get these. One of these is a bit nicer than the other, so one will probably get slabbed, and you all might get to see that in CGC box opening. Copy of Batman 1 New 52 in really good shape, and again at the price, I had to get it. I don't know, I just bought Hawkman 1. No real good reason. I think it's kind of a cool cover, but there's no master plan or spec behind that. We all know Hughes Batgirl 1. The spec behind that and the Hughes cover. Now I found this in a box. This book always sells well for me with some of the stuff that's been going on in the DC universe. I didn't do any box diving. I just happened to be walking from the back of the store and looked in two boxes and saw this. Then this variant that you don't see very often. Suicide Squad isn't the hottest right now. But I want to say this is like maybe something random, like a 1 in 40. It could be a 1 in 25, 1 in 50. I don't really know. Maybe a 1 in 50. But I thought it was pretty cool and had to snag it as well. I'll go ahead. I've got to keep some of this stuff separate from my bookkeeping. I've got to make notes on what I paid and where I got stuff, tax purposes and record keeping. So that's why things are going in different piles. Oh, that's a cool book. I don't even know if you all need to see this. It's Star Wars. I got these free with some other books that I'll show you in a second. Star Wars 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 10. 2, 3 do really well for me. 4, alright. But I guess everybody's got 1, and 2 and 3 are pretty popular. These are not the highest grade copies. I doubt they'll be going to CGC. Or I can say they won't be. Get these back in this crazy little bag. Now the next book I just got a sneak peek at is probably my favorite. It's a personal pickup and my favorite of the whole weekend, I believe. And it doesn't even have a cover. Wonder Woman 98. First Silver Age Wonder Woman. And they're still fighting here on the first page. And if you can see the upside down price, I got an outstanding deal on this, at least in my opinion. It's a book that I want, but I'm not willing to pay what it takes to get a copy, especially a decent copy. So I was super stoked to find this from a friend and get it in a deal with a big stack of books. So pretty stoked there. This is in my opinion just an awesome book. I mean, Wonder Woman be Wonder Woman. Another slab I picked up in a deal. Black Panther continues to do really well after the movie. A lot of times you'll see books fall off after a movie. Black Panther is the exact opposite. I think it might have gotten even more popular. 9.4 white pages. Solid copy of this book. Everybody's seen this. We got a Hulk 181. I'm not sure about this grading. I think it might actually maybe hit an 8.0. We'll see. It'll be going to CGC. So we'll get to see in the opening what it gets. But I don't think I really need to talk about that too much. And then in the same deal, this is the deal that I got the free Star Wars from. Also got a giant size X-Men #1. And I think it might be an 8 instead of an 8.5. I think the grades go either way. This has got a little wave to it, and it's got a little place down here on the spine that is not my favorite, but you know, it's pretty much the first appearance of everybody, of the X-Men as we know it. So we don't really need to talk about that a lot either. Both those I'm pretty stoked with. Then we get to these magazines. That's not the one in. There are two variants of this. I'll see if I can find the other one. Basically, this is the equivalent of the dollar bin. It's a magazine $5 bin. You can find all sorts of stuff, but there's one like this, and then there's one with a blurb of text. I believe it's this one. You know, I got some cool stuff not worth a ton. A Cull 1 and 2 that are just in really good shape. Those aren't worth a lot, but probably CGCable. Got a couple copies of Man Gods here, Marvel Preview 1. I don't know. There's a little bit of heat on it. And I need some bags and boards for some of this stuff. I'm not quite sure how valuable this is. I think it's limited to 3,000 copies, especially with the chrome card inside. No, I'm just being silly. But it's a Tower Records exclusive photo cover. Got a couple of those. Now this next book, still, I think I've got 5 copies of this. This one is in excellent shape. You'd be surprised what a 9/8 in this brings with this black cover. And I think I probably have a 9/8 or 2 in my copies. I want to be real careful with this because it doesn't have a board either. I need to get this stuff squared away. Here's just a Vampire Tales. Here's a book that y'all will recognize for $5. It's hard to pass up. It's not the nicest copy, but you know, for $5 you can't go wrong. Oh, Savage Tales. These were just in such good condition. I couldn't help myself but buy them. I mean, they were just so nice. Here's another good one. Starlog #1. It's got a few spine creases and stuff on it. A little bend down here, but that's another pretty decent book that will help pay off all the magazines. Here's another copy of that Marvel Preview 1 in much better shape. Have no clue what this is, but it looked pretty cool. These, I definitely don't know what they are. They're some super independent little publication. There are 7 of them in here. Don't know what they are, but they look cool, so I got them. This Monsters Attack #5, I don't remember why it's special, but there's something going on in it. I thought this was interesting. It's a Harvard Lampoon parody of Playboy. It's not in the best shape ever, but again, can't pass that up for $5 in my opinion. Some more Star-Lord here, those other Tomb of Draculas. Not a lot, I got 6 copies. Here is the variant of this with the text down here. I've got a couple of variants of that. There's 1, 2, 3 of those. Moon Knight, not the best shape, but you can't pass it up. These aren't worth anything, but some good reads. And then we've got Monsters Unleashed here to end things. Again, nothing crazy, but a #1 Marvel magazine about monsters and horror. Always a good thing. And that does it for this box. I've got 2 more we'll try to go through quickly in videos following this. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a good day, and good luck with everything.